Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Racing Bros NASCAR podcast, episode 30. Yeah, we jumped 30 of these, and now we're in the playoffs. And I'm with my co-host Brian. Brian, how are you doing today?
Fantastic after that race. How are you doing?
Ooh, nice verb usage. Fantastic. Definition of fantastic is, what if I just read it off the top of my head? I just knew the definition of fantastic, just like that. I'm like Merriam over here, bro. Wow, you didn't like my joke?
No.
Oh well. Anything new and exciting happen over your Labor Day long weekend, sir? Have any fun? Did you do anything? Did you go swimming? Did you drown yourself in booze? What did you do?
No, I went out to the trailer, hung out with the family and some family friends for a little while. We ended up coming back home, and then I got my car back.
Oh, you did? Finally?
Yeah.
Kia Motors fixed it?
No, it was actually a family friend that fixed it.
Jesus Christ, but...
Figured out it was my shifter button was broken.
Ooh. So now it's all working fine?
Yep.
Gotta love it. Wow, I love how you just leave it at a dealership, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna keep this. And then they're like, yeah, we didn't do anything with it. We're still gonna keep it. And then they're like, you can have it back now.
Yeah, actually, I went up there. It was I think 2 days after I took it there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we were gonna get to it today, but we had a certain amount of cars come in," and I was like, "Okay, just give me the car back. I'll take it somewhere else. I really don't care."
Right.
And yeah, now it's fixed. So
did you drive it back or did you get it towed back?
no, I had them just boot it back, or bring the battery back, give it to me, and I just drove it.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't have anything to jump the battery. So
right. Fun.
I'm like, you guys killed it. Jump it.
Yeah. I'm surprised I even had a jumper box.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, actually.
With that dealership that we won't name. Starts with a K though, Kia.
Just named it.
I mean, I didn't say the location.
True.
I didn't say which dealership. I just said a Kia dealership.
That is true.
I didn't say Kia of blank. But
yeah. Kia of Andover.
I don't even think Andover has a Kia dealership.
I don't know if they have a dealership at all.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah, they did, and then all their cars disappeared. So, I don't think they have one anymore.
Oh boy.
Andover is a really inside joke between us. Gotta love the people of Andover. If anyone listened from Andover, could you shout us out?
Yeah. Hello, people of Andover.
Yeah, hello, Andover village people. You fellow townsmen. Yeah, that'd be funny though. Shout out to Andover, Ohio. I can't wait till there's another Andover, Massachusetts or something. Is there another Andover? Let me look up.
There's a ton of Andovers.
Andover, Minnesota. Hey, Andover, Minnesota. Shout out to you. You want to go to Andover Cinema?
Sure.
All right, we'll call. Let's look at their website. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I opened the Andover thing, Brian. I'm gonna show you this because this is insane. Look at the first thing I look at. I open the fucking website.
It looks like Andover, all right.
Fucking guy pointing a gun at me. Come see my movie. Oh, Jesus. That scared me. But all right, we're gonna get on to the race because it was actually a really good race. See, it wasn't one of those like Michigan where you had to make up stuff and act like you liked it. I just But all right, let's get on to Darlington. I gotta get my handy notes right here. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on a piece of paper that I just picked up from the bed beside me. Little illusion behind the glass or whatever. Like how we do it. We write it on notes, notepad, because we're real journalists. Anyways, Brian, you want to start us off? The notes?
Sure, we'll do. We had an eventful race this past weekend. At Darlington.
Where?
Darlington.
Well? The lady in black.
Yeah, there you go. The lady in black.
Mm-hmm.
So the stage 1 started off. It was running real smooth. Then McDowell got loose, tapped Seabell, and yikes. That's all I have to say. Yikes. Then we actually had a little scuffle between teammates, Bowman and Byron, when I believe Bowman got loose and hit his teammate.
Bowman blew a tire, and he got into the wall, and he's up by the wall, and then Byron actually didn't see Bowman because Bowman has a purple and like black kind of car color, and he was up towards the wall, and there's a shaded area, so Byron couldn't see it till the last minute and kind of made contact with Bowman, ripping his left side up. Basically, Bowman was pretty much going to be in the back the rest of the day because he was a lap down, and also the left side is so aero sensitive on these cars, so any damage to the left side is basically you're going to be slow. Byron hit on the right side, so he's okay. He was like making okay laps and bringing himself out there, but yeah, Bowman really was stuck back in like the mid-20s all day. Couldn't make himself back, couldn't get his laps back, and just the left side was like too damaged. So that was our first playoff driver with trouble. And then we went down pit road, and then the 9 car literally looked like tapped the tire with the of the 53's pit. So the 53 car was in front of him. They're changing tires, and the guy changing the tire was carrying the tire. And as he was carrying it, Chase Elliott just hit it with his left front. Kind of pushed his left front in. It was like causing a bunch of smoke. So he had to go back down pit road and fix his damage. And then speaking of McDowell, he got loose and lost it and just smashed it into the inside wall. So his race was done. Another playoff guy. So we had like 4 playoff guys in the first stage have like some big issues happening. And then the stage winner was Denny Hamlin. So he got another stage win. This is his first one in a while. I can't remember when the last time he won a stage. I think it was like Richmond, I would say, maybe earlier, but I think it was the last one he won was Richmond.
I think that's about right.
So,
but I do want to bring up the I don't know if you have this down, but with the 51 and 53.
Oh yeah, the fucking meme circus that they are.
Is that what 3 races in a row now, or is that just the last 2?
Probably last 10.
The last 10. Oh man, more damage between teammates is great.
Yeah, it's just Rick Ware cars, the back markers got into it again, so that brought out another caution. And then stage 1 was Denny Hamlin that he won, so he got some needed playoff points and some extra points. Then we had a booth switch, so they've done this in years past when we've done the throwback race to Darlington. Instead of the usual booth, Rick Allen, Dale Jr., Steve Letard, and Jeff Burton, they had Dale Jr. actually do the play-by-play announcing, and they had also Dale Jarrett and Kyle Petty in the booth as well. That was honestly, hot take. I would actually rather have that booth every
Yeah, that was
week.
a really fun booth.
Like, because they're so informative. Dale Jr. did actually a pretty good job, like, leading as a play-by-play guy. And he did a good job bringing us in and out of breaks and, keeping the action going. And, Dale Jarrett and Kyle Petty, really informative. I'm not saying the other guys are non-informative or whatever, but I kind of like that booth, It kind of looked like, you're watching a race with your buddies and, or like they're teaching you about it. Like they're really, really informative, and I do like that booth. It's good energy. It was like the first restart. Like Dale Jr.'s like screaming, like in the first like corner, like when they're side by side, which I thought was really funny. He's like, Larson's on the outside, and I'm like, all right, Dale, it's a restart. Let's calm it. I mean, it's pretty cool that they're going side by side in Darlington because. Like they said, like old Darlington, you would never do that. Like when you would watch Darlington, there'd be a lot of people like letting off the gas and stuff to let them go by if you had the position. But it's stage points and having hard to pass on this track and stuff like that. The drivers are more aggressive and stuff. You got to go 2x2 there. You got to make it work. But I really like that booth. I think that's a good booth. Then we had some Kyle Busch trouble. We had Austin Dillon and 18 getting together. It kind of looked like Austin Dillon was holding his line and Kyle Busch turned down into him. So he even said after that that it wasn't the 3 cars' fault, which I thought was quite surprising. But Kyle Busch kind of did some no-nos when he drove back to the garage. He drove through like cones to go to the garage area, and then there's like people like walking in that certain area, and he's kind of speeding through, which was a little dangerous and careless, I think, in my opinion. I get he's pissed, but it's a little careless, just to put people's lives like that. He could have hit someone pretty easily there, but it's a little careless on Kyle Busch. He knows better, but I can see why he's pissed. Said his car was running like shit, so he shouldn't even be there. So he's kind of more mad at his team. But also, guys with Kyle Busch, you got to kind of let them express how they're feeling and stuff like that. Like Kyle Petty said, I do like his passion, though. You can't look at that guy and say he doesn't care. He did a careless act, like driving through the garage like that, but you can't say he doesn't care about trying to win races, He cares about his sport. He's passionate about what he does. But
Plus, he's in the playoffs. You think he would want to win?
Oh yeah, Kyle Busch wants to win fucking everything. He wants to win a fucking snowball fight. But it's just, you can see like his passion, and you got to have guys like that in there. I kind of respect Kyle for accepting the villain role. We kind of need a villainous role in NASCAR. It makes it more interesting. I think it's kind of funny. The guy sponsored by M&M's is the villain. That's kind of funny. Just like the M&M sponsored guy, like with peanut M&M's on his fucking car, is like the villain. It's like, oh, okay. But and then we had debris caution, so went down pit road again, and then on 201 after green flag stops, William Byron, as earlier, had damage from Bowman. He was running top 10, so he made a good recovery, and then he blew out a left front tire. It was either he ran over something or something in the tire blew out, and he hit the wall. So he was done for the day as well. Another playoff guy with some trouble. And then also in that stage, Kevin Harvick thought he had a loose wheel, so then he went down pit road. He was kind of playing catch-up from there. And then the stage 2 winner, Kyle Larson. So he got much-needed stage points. And then Um, we had the 12 car had an uncontrolled tire and put them beyond the 8 ball, and then he spun with like 50 laps to go, and he was kind of he spun around. I wasn't sure if it was a tire or he said he was having some brake problems as well. And
I think his brake line busted, is what he said.
Yeah, like
over the radio.
He said he spun, but then he had a flat, and then he said the brake line exploded. So I'm not sure which one it was, or it was like a combination in between the two. So Blaney had some trouble. He finished like mid-20s or something. Like he had a bad finish when he was running up well.
Right.
And then in stage 3, you also had the 20 Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Chase Elliott all getting together. And it cut Chase Elliott's tire, and he hit the wall as well. So it was another playoff guy having trouble. And then Christopher Bell was kind of like towards the middle of the pack the rest of the night, so he did not finish as well as he should have. And then Chase Elliott had to go to the garage, so another playoff guy with trouble. And then kind of went green towards the end. Kyle Larson was chasing Denny Hamlin the rest of the race. Ross Chastain was up there trying to get second place from Kyle Larson for a bit, so that was kind of entertaining. And then the final corner, it looked like, Denny Hamlin's just going to drive away. Kyle Larson literally, like, if you ever played video games in NASCAR, it's called wall riding. It's basically you go full throttle and you just hit the wall and you're like just riding the wall the whole way, not letting up off the gas. Just see if you can pass it. But he did that in real life, and he almost did it. Hamlin didn't block him with his right rear. So Hamlin gets his first win on the season. Much needed win. Another winner called by yours truly. Gotta love it. But yeah, Denny Hamlin, first win of the season. Kind of shuts up the haters that he couldn't win the season. Much needed win, and he is locked in the round of 12. So we have 16 drivers, if you didn't know, in the playoffs. 4 get eliminated in each round every 3 races. So this was the first race of the round. If you win, you're locked into the next round. So he will be in the round of 12. No matter what. Even if he finished last, both weeks, he's still going to be in the round of 12. So,
and honestly, we're better to get your win than at the beginning of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Build momentum. Yeah, so he's currently, he's locked in. Kyle Larson is 80 points above the cut line, so he's what we would call pretty much safe. A max points day you could get is 60 points, so he's got pretty much a race in some points over the cut line, so he has a lot of breathing room. Truex is plus 36, so he's got some good points. And then 4th through 6th, fourth all the way down is Kurt Busch. He's up by 26 points, so a good buffer. Blaney's up by 22. Logano in 6th is up 21. Harvick in 7th is up 20, so he had a good day getting stage points, and he rebounded for a top 5. Brad Keselowski had a pretty solid race, so he's above. He's plus 12. So then 9th through 12th, Christopher Bell is only plus 5. Chase Elliott is plus 4. Eric Almirola is plus 3. And right now, Tyler Reddick is on the bubble. Him and Alex Bowman are actually tied for the bubble. Tyler Reddick would be currently in because he has a better finish than Alex Bowman. So if there's a tie on the bubble, it takes whoever has the best finish. So Tyler Reddick currently has a better finish than Alex Bowman. So the people looking in, Alex Bowman is tied with Tyler Reddick. Kyle Busch is actually -2. William Byron is -9, and then Michael McDowell is -20. So it's going to be very interesting going into Richmond, I will say, but we'll get into all that. Now we got to rate the race. So I thought Talladega probably this year was probably one of the better. Or what race did we race really highly? I thought it was Talladega.
I think we had two. One was Daytona, and I believe the other one was Talladega.
Okay, so we thought the plate race was probably the better races of this year. I'm sorry if you don't like that race, you're not a NASCAR fan. Watch something else, because that was a near perfect race, and it's not because they have the 750 horsepower package or, well, Zach, Michigan, it was hard to pass there, so why in Darlington is it hard to pass there, and it's not like getting crucified like Michigan did? Here's the difference. So Michigan, you need a lot of draft to pass. You need a lot of help to even attempt to pass. This racetrack is so challenging. The drivers are racing the racetrack. They're not like racing each other more. They're racing the racetrack, just trying to survive, not hit the wall. And it's just like they're really fighting out there. So Michigan, they're not really. They're just trying to get a run to just try and even attempt to pass. But with Darlington, it's like they're racing the racetrack more or less than actually racing each other. Darlington is a challenging track, especially even with the horsepower. It's a totally different spectacle than be like, well, they got spread out. There wasn't much passing, stuff like that. Well, I mean, you're right in a sense, but it's also not right with how they're just fighting the cars. Like with the 550 package, I mean, it's way, way easier to drive the cars than with the 750 package. It's just the reason with the 550 is the more or less just trying to fight the air instead of trying to fight the racetrack. So, they make the car go fast and it's slippy and slidey and it looks cool. So, I thought it personally was the race of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed every lap of 367. The Southern 500, such a crown jewel. Everyone wants to win here. They call it Too Tough to Tame for a reason. The Lady in Black, whatever you want to call it, it is great. And it had a great race, playoff drama, what we all was looking for. Stage 2 was maybe a little anticlimactic, but Stage 3 was fun. Restarts, battling to the last lap, to the last turn even. What more can you say? Exceptional race, 96 out of 100, which rates it my race of the year so far.
And I pretty much agree exactly with what you were saying. The only thing that really keeps me from going with 100 is because there's no such thing as a perfect race, in my opinion. If it's perfect, then it might not be as fun as you think. But yeah, no, I mean, this race was... it was definitely race of the year. And with that, I am going to say that this has beat out Daytona. Daytona had a 93.5. Talladega had a 92.5. And this race has an average of 97 because I am rating it a 98.
Wow. Woo. But yeah, it was definitely fun.
It was a great race.
I mean, if you watch the race and you don't like it, you're not a NASCAR fan. I'm sorry, this is not for you. I don't know what else you could have wanted. It was chef's kiss. But now we're gonna talk about the playoffs some. So we got two questions, basically same question but opposite. One question we have is who's currently under, who do we think has the best chance of getting above this weekend, and who do you think is above the cut line this weekend is more in danger of falling out. So, firstly, I think the best chance to get over the cut line this week, I would say, is Kyle Busch. because he is such a record at Richmond. I know Alex Bowman won Richmond earlier in the year, but I think Kyle Busch has the best odds. He's just so good at Richmond. I think he'll get above this weekend. And the most in danger of falling out, I actually probably a little surprising, I think it's Christopher Bell. I mean, I think it's just his first playoffs. Almirola's pretty good actually at this track, so I expect him to have pretty decent result. Tyler Reddick's right on the bubble. Again, I expect a decent result. I think Christopher Bell will have more of an up and down day. We'll just see. I think Kyle Busch is more likely to get up, and I think probably Christopher Bell, I would say, is the most danger of falling out this weekend, because he's only got a 5-point buffer, and I don't know, I just trust that Chase Elliott will do good, and I think Tyler Reddick will put in a solid result, and Almirola's got a lot of good history at Richmond. Pretty solid racetrack for Almirola, underrated. So I think those drivers will be fine. Christopher Bell is the question mark for me. So yeah, that's why I'm going with him. The most danger of falling out.
This is going to be probably the hardest question to answer we've had all year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because of the fact that 3 out of the 4 that are outside of the bubble currently are not only really good drivers, but also in really good equipment. So I think calling one driver to just make it in the bubble is going to be a little weird. I personally feel like it's going to be a Hendrick weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, they've been strong the entire year, and I feel like playoffs is not going to be the place where they just fall.
Right.
I mean, you know, it was all unfortunate this weekend. They pretty much raced it like it was a Daytona race, I would argue. Like, I mean, it just was unlucky, or you were lucky. So, I don't know. To say one driver's going to get in, I guess the best driver, I would have to agree on Kyle Busch. Just because he's just a strong driver,
mm-hmm.
you know. As for getting out, now, I know Eric Almirola is going to be strong with this package and on this track. I know Tyler Reddick is going to be decent because he has been the entire year. But I feel more like Eric Almirola is just going to have a bad day. I think there's going to be something that's going to pull him out, and if it doesn't, that'll make the entire playoffs completely interesting. But I just feel like he's going to have a bad weekend, as we saw. Actually, the last race, he had a pretty good finish, didn't he? The last race earlier this year?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, this is like the hardest questions to answer. So, yeah, no, I'm going to say Eric Almirola as mine that's in the bubble going out, and then Kyle Busch as well that is going in that is out.
Wow. I guess I didn't make it. The argument for Eric Almirola is too compelling.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just this year has been a very weird year for him.
Yeah, very. He is bringing his New Hampshire card that he dominated in.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see how that goes. You never know.
Very true. Yeah, and then that's our question for the week. Kind of a quick question segment. Now we're going to get into some news. NASCAR to have a race in LA? What? NASCAR is looking to race in the LA Coliseum for the 2022 Clash. It would be scheduled 2 weeks before the Daytona 500, so the week before the Super Bowl, or 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, because I think the Super Bowl and Daytona 500 is on the same day, I want to say. I'm not sure, but it would be 2 weeks before the Daytona 500. The Clash is an exhibition race, just for fun. It's basically the playoff drivers and either some other Clash winners that won it before, or yeah, I think it's playoff drivers or pole winners and drivers who won before. So the Clash, just an exhibition race. They would look maybe to do in the Coliseum. We don't know. Beard Motorsports, they raced the 62 this year. In years prior, they've only done the restrictor plate races mostly in like the 5 or 6 years they've been around. Beard Motorsports announces it will return next season and attempt to race in the 2022 Daytona 500 and other Daytona and Talladega races. So just the super speedway races. They're gonna go as an open team. Talking about reiterating what we said about Kyle Busch driving in the garage. NASCAR has fined Kyle Busch $50,000 for the way he entered the garage at Darlington. And then next week, NASCAR is tentatively set to announce the 2022 Cup Series schedule. Among the notables, COTA is supposed to come back, and Gateway, where the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at near St. Louis, is expected to get a cup race. Unfortunately, Pocono is expected to lose one. I kind of like the Pocono doubleheader weekend. It didn't bring a lot of eyes, I guess I was basically reading up on. But I did like the Pocono doubleheader weekend. I thought it was unique. It's just not a whole lot of people watched it, unfortunately. So Pocono is going to lose a race. That sucks. I do like Pocono. I think it's a unique track. It's in the shape of a triangle, 2.5 miles long, usually a fuel mileage race. So we're losing another big oval, I would say, as NASCAR shoots more for shorter tracks or road courses, as said with the news, because Gateway is a shorter track and COTA, as we raced this year, is a road course. So kind of seeing where the direction's moving. But maybe Pocono will be a 400-mile race again, like it was before. So see about that if Pocono gets a long race. But it's kind of the news for the week. Now we're going to go into our preview of Richmond. So Richmond, shorter track, the 750 horsepower package. It's going to be really racy, I think, in the night, especially with the grip. I think the top side is probably going to get used more than it kind of was in the spring. I think... Who should I pick? I'm actually going to pick Kyle Busch to actually lock himself into the playoffs. Round of 12 this weekend. He's below the cut line. I think he's going to drive a little pissed off because he did lose $50,000. And pissed off Kyle Busch is not a fun Kyle Busch. You'd say he's probably pissed off a lot of the time, but now driving mad, trying to get up in the playoffs, I think he will do it this weekend, and I am picking Kyle Busch as my pick this weekend to lock himself in.
That's a good pick. This weekend is going to be a very interesting one, to say the least, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, this is pretty much like every driver wants to win to make sure that they're into the next round, as we would all know. And then you have the 4 who are currently out of the playoffs that are going to want to get into the next week of the playoffs.
Right.
So, oh man, I initially wanted to go with Kyle Larson and be like, oh, well, I'm going to take the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go with the other Busch brother.
Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch. I believe he has the heart to do it.
Well, I mean, choose whoever, man.
Yeah.
Well, kind of a shorter podcast this week. Got through what we wanted to talk about, so yeah, just kind of a little shorter one. I do like these little shorter ones that we get to. Usually, we want to get up to around 45 minutes, but 35 minutes, 10 minutes less. Sorry about that. Or that we're robbing you of content, but I think it was a fine episode. Pretty good. I give ourselves a pat on the back. I think nice B plus pod. We'll give ourselves a pat on the back. But thank you guys for watching and listening as always. We'll post our picks later in the week. And if you guys want to interact with us, follow us on social media, Racing Bros Podcast. Look on Instagram and Twitter. And then you can see our socials. Thank you also Instacart for partnering with us. Instacart makes your life easy with shopping. Just go on their app. Well, download their app with our link. Link is going to be in the description of both the YouTube and the podcast episode. They make your life easy. Just click on it and start up account. You can pick from your local grocery stores. You can pick whatever groceries you want, and just have someone pick up for you and drop off at your house with no contact delivery. Usually within the hour, but I wouldn't expect more than an hour and a half. So it makes your life easy. You can still game or sim race or even do a podcast while someone else is getting your groceries. So safe, easy way to get groceries, fast and simple. Instacart, thank you for partnering with us. Thank you guys all for listening again to another one of these, and we will see you next week. So take care, everyone.
Take care.